Guten Tag and welcome back everybody to Modded Minecraft 1.10. Yes, finally back in Busterland in our Modded Minecraft 1.10 world. Well, it was a bumpy ride, I have to say. All the setup stuff for the Survival Enhanced server and the Easter holidays and everything. It was really stressful and bumpy, but now I am back at it, at least for today. I still have to figure out the schedule, how I want to alterate the 1.11 and the 1.10 thing. I think mostly 1.11 on Mondays, 1.10 on Wednesdays, and Friday, depending on what kind of ideas I have. Then you saw yesterday we ended Project Ozone. At least we put it on hiatus because Sidemaster had to focus on different things, and 3 Minecraft series is really serious. So we will look into what we do on Tuesday, Thursday and Saturdays from now on. But I have already a few things in mind we will look upon. But for today, I want to look more. You see already where we are. I want to look more into immersive engineering, because actually I never really did that before. All I did is the platformer, or what it is called, where you have the press that makes plates and rods and gears and stuff like that. And besides of that, and the furnace thing where you can make the coal coke. Besides of that, I never did anything with the mod. So we really want to look into immersive engineering and see that we fill our industrial area here, this fabric building we made actually a couple of episodes ago. And we want to fill it with things and life and industrial amazing things and automation. So we will hop right into the game and see what we got. The first thing I want to show you is what I did here so far. As you can see, I removed the things left and right of the actual desk. Give me my screen back. Thank you. I added a little DecoCraft laptop here because I think it is very fitting for the overseer of this industrial whatever, and I added a crafting grid here from Refined Storage, which is okay. I thought for a second it would not be functional, so we would have access to our inventory system right here. Oh, and it's getting night. Isn't that beautiful? Let me sleep. Better. So here is a few things I did decoration wise. I changed the windows again, because little tile windows continue to disappear on me, so that is not okay. Therefore I used mana glass. I really like the looks of the mana glass. We used it down in the warehouse office as well. And I added the frame to it, so it actually sits in something. And I added this little thing here on the outside, which you can barely see. So we would have an outer frame of the window. And I think I will actually do that all around, but not from the same kind of wood, because it actually just disappears. You can't see it. That is not so good. So we have this large windows installed where we can actually see what is happening in the in this area here. This is just the engineer's workbench. We will have to see where we put it later on. But this thing here has to be filled with amazing automation, and all in the theme of immersive engineering. The amazing stuff with immersive engineering is that you have all these moving parts, and you can actually see items moving around on this conveyor belts and things. So we want to utilize that and make some sort of immersive engineering fabric build. It's not fabric. What it is called when you have industrial? I don't know. There is also power generation in immersive engineering. I think with diesel generators and stuff like that. And we will most likely put that on the outside, because we don't want to have it on the inside with large chimneys maybe. But we have to look what actually is possible with the mod. Now I will try to kind of deep dive into the mod and see to figure out what is actually possible. Where's my book? Oh, I must look this way. Good. Here's my engineer's manual. I have to study that for a little bit. And my engineer's hammer. I believe this is the more important parts. And you can see we have a few wire coils and stuff like that. So we will look into all of this, and then we will be back with what we want to do up top. We have to start way more basic than I anticipated. Because I never really looked into the mod, I am missing so many things. I was missing the plate mold. I have no idea where it went. I should have at least the plate mold and the rod mold, but both are gone. The gear mold was inside the machine, but nothing else. So I tried to collect a few things for the first machine, and that already didn't work out. Because I have basically nothing. When you look at... oops, it's not a plate. I can't type. There we go. When you look at plates, we have a few tin plates, we have a few titanium plates, which we actually just need for advanced rocketry. And that's it. It's a silver plate, aluminum plate, aluminium even. Yeah, that's it. So we have basically nothing. I can't do anything because we don't have any steel plates or anything like that. We have quite a bit of steel, okay, but nothing else. So I really need to get the steel production going for one. And okay, we have quite a few rods. That is good. And why do I have another crossbow? Well, it doesn't matter right now. So what we really need to go here, or need to get going, is to automate the metal press. It is hooked up so it receives energy, although it just receives energy from down there, from our main generator right now. The goal should be to set up a proper diesel generator, but it will work for now. What we need to do though is, hello Hammer, is to install a proper method to actually craft and collect this. This here it's just not doing it for me. It is ugly. So we need to do something else. I need a crafter so we can actually auto craft it from the system, and then we need to feed the things. I have no idea. Okay, so the goal is making steel plates and iron plates. Now I have to come up with something. First of all, this works really easy. So we can just connect the crafter on one side on the metal press, and it will, I have the pattern for an iron plate in here, it will craft the iron plate automatically. When I start, let me just start one of those. Craft, there we go. So it puts it on it. Whoa, there was a leg spike. It presses it, and then, I think it is supposed to do it, right? It's not supposed to be on the conveyor belt. It's just transported by. I see. Oh yeah. Okay. So I was really confused because the item pops off at the end. You know. When we start another one. So everything is fine and dandy. Ooh. It's stuck to the conveyor belt and then it pops off. But it actually gets transported further. Okay. So I tried to use this dropping conveyor belt, although I have actually no idea what it does. I think it might drop onto another conveyor belt. I tried to pick it up with an importer, and that doesn't work. So we can't go that route. We must pick up the item on this side here somehow. And I wonder if I can. Oh no, that was an iron ingot. Hello. Well, okay, that is not working. I was hoping that I can get it on the next level, so we would go downwards. But it seems the conveyor belt can only go upwards, but not downwards, which strikes me odd, I have to say. Okay, let me come up with something to pick the finished project up. Okay, so they can actually go down when they have another conveyor belt to connect to. This is admittedly the most boring way to do it, but I think, at least as far as the theme goes, a hopper is actually the best way to go here, because it fits so nicely in, and via these dropping conveyor belts we can drop the item right into the hopper. So this is a fitting theme, I think. There's the crafter right here, and it puts out the item to the belt. They go over here and drop down here. The idea would be to have a system that seems connected. Now, this conveyor belt here is coming out of thin air right now. It is not obviously or even visible where the items are coming from. That is not a thing I want to have. So if I want to have an autocrafter that is using this system, we need to come up with a contraption where we can actually see where the iron is coming from, and they need to be dropped onto the conveyor belt or something like that. So I think as for the grand scheme, we need the system intertwined. So we will have larger structures which can actually process ore. And when we process the iron ore into an iron ingot, it will then go onto this here to be pressed into a plate or a rod or a gear, whatever. So it needs to be kind of obvious and visible where the actual item is coming from. I just couldn't help myself. I had to start with the chisels. I had to make it look at least a little bit nicer. Although I wonder if the iron one is actually functioning. Let's see. Let's see if we get actually plates. We don't get any iron plates. That concerns me slightly. Now, why are you not doing a thing? Inverted? Not inverted. Not inverted is correct. Why is it not? Oh, no energy. Oh, because I see. I see. Good. I need to do the power differently. I hope the items don't despawn. I really hope there would be a possibility to to make the crafter in a way that it would wait until the recipe actually returns. So when I have a crafter like this here, I would like to have a option that the crafter is actually waiting for the result of the first craft until it starts the next one. So if I start 64 items of something, doesn't matter of what, let's just say the plates. It will push out one plate and wait for the result to return to the system before it starts the second plate. And so on and so on and so on. So that would be a nice addition to Refined Storage. Maybe it's even in there already. I'm just not aware of it because there were updates in the past. Good. Now, as you can see, I added a second machine. So the first one here right in front is now crafting the steel plates because we were really low on steel plates. And the other one is crafting the iron plates. Well, it is currently not because no power. I have to make the power distribution a little bit different. Maybe through the beams here. I have to think about that. But at least we have now two systems running, and now we can focus on adding other things. I've added the next two machines to the factory. That is the word I was looking for earlier. It's not a fabric. That is a German word, or otherwise a word for some sort of cloth, I think. It's a factory. Oh man, sometimes I'm so stupid. So this here is supposed to be the crusher. And this is supposed to be the arc furnace. And the higher tier of arc furnace, no, it's the arc furnace, just like that. So hit it, no, hit it, no. Hit something, yes. Good. Hazardous machinery, nice. And hit this here as well, maybe the cauldron, yes, the cauldron. Okay, good, very good. And the fireworks. Good, awesome. So now we have the crusher and the arc furnace. The reasoning behind, or the idea behind, is that we... Wait a second. It's inverted, not inverted. Okay. The idea behind is that the crusher, who would have known, crushes ores. And the arc furnace... oh, whoa, that is complicated. The arc furnace is then processing the ores furthermore. So this would be a chain then. We have the ores coming in from the outside, actually from give me a second. Right here, the excavator. So this is the idea. There is another. Yes. Yeah, this is it. So this is the excavator. When I understand this correctly, the excavator will mine an ore, but not an actual ore, like some of the quarry mining thingies, where it just goes into a fictive what is the word, dimension, and mines there without actually doing something in the world. This, at least my understanding, I might be completely wrong. So the idea behind this is that we have the excavator here. So the reasoning or the imagination behind is that this part of the rock that is already gone was excavated by the excavator, right? Good. Then we will have it someplace over here and dig inside this mountain here, this mountainside. Of course, this has to be more landscaped. It's just a plain straight wall that is not plausible. So we will try to form this, to shape this. I have no clue how yet. And then we will have the excavator over there. Then we will have some sort of train track to transport the excavated ores over to the crusher. The crusher will crush it. The arc furnace will produce it further. So we have some sort of ore refinery. And then we have machines that can actually use stuff with the processed ores or the processed ingots. For one, this is of course the metal presses, and then we have some sort of auto crafting system as well. I don't want to look into it right now. So this is the general idea. And now we're getting pretty late in the episode. I will try to set up at least the chain so that we can see what I want it to happen. And the rest will have to wait for another episode. But I will try to set that up and show you in a second. Here is at least for now the general idea or the system I came up with, and I want to follow just like the theme of this industrial area, this factory, where the resources comes from the outside and getting processed in the inside. So we will have a train track here on this side, all the way down to there. Over there somewhere will be the excavator, I think. On the outside in this area will be the power generation from the mod. And then the train will arrive here. We have... Oh, is it Steve? No, what is it? Railcraft? It is Railcraft, yes. We have Railcraft in our Busterland pack. So we can actually... No, that doesn't look like it. We need actually trains. Where are the trains? track layer. Okay, I will. Oh, here. This is tracks. Maybe I will look into that later. So we have a different sort of train. For now, it's just a minecart. It's not even functional. It's just there to pretend. Then it will unload here. I will just drop this there. Then it will go somewhere. Although I realized that I placed this really terrible because it's right in front of the window. And it will drop inside the crusher. Will it? It will. And the crusher is doing its thing. By the way, this is where the air defenses come in. And quiet. Good. So this is crushing the ore and putting out into this chest here. Oh, we get additional gold from the copper. Nice. Then it will be processed in the arc furnace. I wanted to set up the arc furnace, but I realized that when we look into the interface here, this left side is input. So or the grid comes in here. Very easy. The right side here is for additional ingredients, for example, coal coke dust, when we want to produce steel from iron to make it less carbon rich. And then we have this is the output, okay? And these three here on top, these are meant for graphite, what was it called? I actually can't remember. Graphite electrodes. In order to make these, we must create hot graphite dust. And the only way we can make that is by squeezing coke dust. So, I don't even have a squeezer, let alone anything else like a coke oven and stuff like that. So we still need a lot of things before we can get this thing running. The next step will be then the coke oven to produce coal coke and the squeezer to produce the graphite, so we get this thing running here. And maybe even more of those, because these here producing plates. And maybe I want to set up at least one or two more to produce the rods, maybe the gears as well. We have to see how we want to do it. Maybe we place them actually side by side, all four in a row, so it makes one large machinery. I have to look into that, how I want to do it. Then we have the squeezer, the coke oven, the rest of the machinery we made for power generation. And I think it will be on the outside somehow. So this building will most likely be extended on this side by the power generation facility, and then over there the excavator, I think. But the episode is already long enough, and because of that we end it here. I hope you liked what you saw here today, the setup for the immersive engineering, at least the start of it. I actually did not realize how much effort I have to put into it to get it up and running. So it's a lot of crazy big machineries, a lot of multi-block structures, but I think that is one of the reasons this mod is so crazy popular as it is. And because I never actually got deep into it, I want to make up for that, at least in the next episode, where we try to complete the building, at least in the terms of the technique, of the automation. And then of course we have to do a lot of stuff, set the train track up and programming all the trains and making something like a giant unloading crane for the train and feeding the ores in the system and stuff like that. I really look forward to that. Although I have to go back to my bees as well, so we can finally try to plant a tree down in the warehouse. So many unfinished projects. Okay, guys, this is it for today. I hope you liked the episode. If so, please leave me your thumb of joy, aka hit that like button, and we will see us again in the next one. Take care of yourself, guys, and rock on.